Let's party! Or something like that, I don't know. Let's add a custom music disc to Minecraft. If you want to go deeper, the 26.x modding courses are linked down below. 30 plus hours covering complex block entities with fluid and energy handling, custom mobs, custom networking, and even custom biomes and dimensions. Everything you need for 26.x, all in one place, linked down below in the description. Alright, we find ourselves back in Tutorial once more, and in this tutorial we're adding a custom music disc to our Minecraft mod. This once again has changed slightly over here from the previous versions, as yes, we still do need a sound event, although it looks a little bit different, but we will also need a custom JSON file, and that is a jukebox song JSON file, and we'll of course create that via data gen. But we're going to start in the beginning, and the beginning is mod sounds class over here. Of course, if you have not added the mod sounds class, because last tutorial you haven't watched that, highly recommend you watch that. Otherwise, all of the code, as always, is linked in the description below in the GitHub repository, so you can double check it from there as well. This is going to need a helper method, which is a private static holder.reference, very important, of type sound event, and that's going to be the register jukebox song method right here with a string name parameter. And this is going to be identifier ID equal to identifier from namespace and path. And that's going to be for tutorial mod.modID and the name parameter over here. And then we're going to return registry. Once again, this time register for holder, passing in built-in registries.sound event, the ID, and then making a sound event of a variable range event, passing in the ID again. And there we go. So it's almost the same, but here we need to use the register for holder method instead of the register method. Then we have a public static final holder.reference of type sound event. This is going to be our bar_brawl. So this is the sound event of the jukebox song equal to register jukebox song bar_brawl. That is exactly right. And that is what we're going to have here as the sound event. Then let's move to the data gen, as we, of course, we're going to need to like go around this in a circle one way or another, because obviously we also need to add a custom item. But first of all, we'll add the data gen for it all, and that is going to be the mod jukebox songs over here. There we go. This is going to be a class that actually doesn't extend anything because it's a bootstrap class. This is similar to the mod paintings that we've seen previously, where we had a bootstrap context over here that is needed in the registry data provider right here. So we'll deal with that and continue to do something like that. We'll get to that when we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Look at this. It actually listened to me and it noticed, oh, bootstrap, but that's not what we want to add. We actually want to add a public static final resource key over here of type jukebox song. This is the jukebox song, very important, bar_brawl_key equal to a resource key.create, passing in registries.jukebox song, and then identifier from namespace and path, of course, tutorial mod.modID, and this is bar_brawl over here. There we go. We'll reformat this slightly, and there we go. And then we'll have a register method that's going to look like this. This is a helper method. You don't necessarily need it, but it does make sense to add it. And that's the register method over here with a bootstrap context of type jukebox song. That's going to be our context. Then a resource key of jukebox song. That is correct. We'll have a couple more parameters though. The holder.reference over here, importing the of type sound event. And of course, if the holder isn't imported, you just, if it's red, click on it, Alt and Enter to import that. This is the sound event over here. Then we have an int length in seconds and an int comparator output. Easy enough. And this is going to call the context.register method, passing in the key, making a new jukebox song, which then needs the sound event, then a component translatable using the util class from net_minecraft_util that make description ID with a prefix of jukebox_song. There we go. Then using the key.identifier after the third closing parenthesis, also passing in the length in seconds as well as the comparator output. As per usual, all of the code is available to you down below. So if at any point you're like, oh, I don't know where I'm at, no worries at all. The code is always available to you down below, so you can double check it there. No worries. So we'll have a bootstrap method. So this is a public static void bootstrap method. You can see this is exactly right. Bootstrap content of jukebox song is 100% correct. Sometimes IntelliJ AI does work, but it doesn't always work. That's but you know, sometimes it does know what to do. In the bootstrap method, we're going to call the register method from below using the context, then using bar underscore brawl underscore key. This is the resource key from above. Then using mod sounds dot bar brawl. Then 162 for the length in seconds and 15 for the comparator output. Obviously, the output here you can change to whatever you so choose. It's between 0 and 15. This is obviously when you put a comparator next to a jukebox, what it basically outputs. So that's the idea. And that actually finishes this class. We want to go to the tutorial mode data generators, and under the build registry, we want to do registries jukebox song and then do mod jukebox songs bootstrap. And also in the mod registry data provider, if you have not added this because you didn't go through the painting variant, that's fine. Then just go to the description below and check the GitHub repository of the registry data provider. And basically you just want to add this over here, right? So you want to do entries add all, lookup or throw registries, jukebox song. And then this is just added right here as a normal provider. Very straightforward, nothing too crazy. And those two places have to be done properly. Once those are done, we now can go to the mod items class to actually register our item. In this case, the bar brawl music disc. This is going to be a normal item. So let's just get a normal item over here. This is the bar underscore brawl underscore music underscore disc, not disco, but disc. And this is the bar underscore brawl underscore music disc is exactly right. This is a new item. And this item has certain properties. The properties are jukebox playable of mod jukebox songs.bar brawl key. We also stack to 1, and then you could add a rarity over here. Let's say, for example, uncommon or something like that would work, but that is okay. You don't have to, but you can. Let's add the item to the creative mode tab, because I am telling you this is usually a thing that listen, I know I always say I might forget it, but I forget this so often you don't even realize. Okay, we're just allowed to edit the videos, so that, which is very important, because if I couldn't edit those videos, oh boy, there would be a lot of mistakes. Then I recommend that you possibly add this to a tag, which is the item tags of creeper drop music discs. Over here, you don't have to add it, but it can be a good idea. Here, of course, once again, if you're still on 26.1, which is totally fine, everything else stays the same. The only difference here is going to be mod items get RK. You don't need that get RK because you don't have it. You just add the bar brawl music disc immediately to the add method, and the tag method is called, I want to say value lookup builder, something like that. But if you have a tags class already, then you should know what it is. This is only if you are on 26.1. If you're on 26.2, exactly this stays. And the model provider, very straightforward as well, as this is just a flat item. Once again over here, generate flat item, this time actually with a flat item over here as well. Bar brawl music disc. It's a normal freaking disc in this case, or a normal freaking item in this case. And those are all of the data gen and actually things that we need to do. Yeah, this is correct. So the only things left are now the assets, which is stored. Oh, this is not actually 100% correct, because we still need to add the sound right here. Oh, my Lanta. See, this is what I mean, right? There's a lot of different things. So the sound, of course, also has to be added right here. That is going to be the following. So this is going to be a exporter.add. This is mod sounds.barbrawl with the sound type builder of mod sounds.barbrawl.value. After the second closing parenthesis, we'll call the sound method again, and this is going to be for the of file identifier from namespace and path, and this is exactly right. The only difference here is that after the second closing parenthesis, we'll also call the stream true over here as a file for the music disc is a stream, right? It's sort of like it doesn't get loaded in all at once, and it just continuously plays. And also I think that it has to do with like it being able to be interrupted or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but basically obviously it makes sense that this should be a stream. Then we get to the sound file. Let's add that one. That is the bar_brawl OGG, of course, available to you. We don't need to look at it because that doesn't make any sense. Remember, if you have your own custom song, it needs to be a proper OGG file, and it needs to be in mono. It is very, very important that both of those things are the case. Otherwise, it's not going to properly work. Very important. Then once we have this, then we can add the translation, where there's actually a very interesting thing to be looked at. And that is the jukebox song over here. As you can see, Bar Brawl music disc is the name of the music disc. And then we also have the name over here as a description. And of course, we also have the item. There we go. I don't even exactly know if we need the item anymore. I'm not 100% sure. I would say just double up on this. This is totally fine. The description over here is obviously needed, which just has basically the artist as well as the name of the song. And then here I have also added CC0, as this is under the Creative Commons License 0, or also known as public domain. So you can do with it whatever you so choose to do. Final thing is the item texture for the Bar Brawl music disc. And now we finally have everything. I know it's a whole runaround over here through many, many different classes. That is why the GitHub repository desks come in handy over here. Let's run the data gen, and this is going to generate us the jukebox song data JSON file over here in the tutorial mode data class, or rather the folder over here. As you can see, Bar Brawl JSON file, as well as change the sounds over here to add the Bar Brawl as well. We could also add a subtitle over here. Why not? There we go, Bar Brawl playing. That is absolutely fantastic. And now let's jump into the game and hear if it works. Well, I don't know what happened here, but look at this. bar_brawl for some reason is not correct over here. I don't know what happened here. So this would be Bar Brawl. Okay, interesting. Oh, this is actually correct. I don't know why there was a difference over here. There we go. This is how you want to do it, apparently. Well, the more you know. All right, friends, I'm back in Minecraft, and let's just listen in over here. Absolutely freaking fantastic. And you can see this is also fixed. And if I were to move away, you can hear, yeah, it's getting quieter and quieter. And if I go back, absolutely fantastic. And that is, of course, because it's a proper OGG file that is in mono. So there we have it. Custom music disc added to Minecraft. Awesome. And there we go. That's going to be it for this tutorial right here. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for all the support on Patreon and on YouTube. Remember, if you join as a Stonebricks member on YouTube, you can get up to 14 days of early access, including this video right here. We'll add a custom mob effect. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.